Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just going to come in here. We're going to set up a scene for modeling. Okay, and I've got a few reference images of this, a Vespa, and we're going to stick that into Maya. First thing, we're just going to zip over to Maya, and I'm going to set it up for a project. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Project Window, and let's see, New, and we'll call this one Vespa. Okay, Vespa project, and I'll hit accept. And that's going to create a new project folder in my current folder of projects. It seems like some kind of project graveyard, stuff that I never quite finish, never get a chance to. Anyway, let's zip over here. And what I've got is I'm in the shop of photos, and I've just gone in here and I've done a selection around everything here. Okay, great. And so I just did this on one layer. I went over to the channels, and I'm going to go and create a new channel. And it's going to be an alpha channel. Go down here, we got this. If I just hit Control X, I can chop that out. Actually, just hold on a second, got the wrong background image. If I do this and I'm on this alpha, and I hit Control X, that's going to put me onto a black background, is it not? What if I do this? Control X, there we go. And I think, I can never remember this, I always forget if I'm inverted or not. I'm probably inverted. So then if I grab the alpha and I hit Control I, there, that inverts the selection. So I put an alpha channel in my texture, and I'll just go Files, Save As. Or just, actually I'll do Save As, and Vespa reference. I'm going to make this a target file because it comes with a separate alpha channel that fits really, really well into Maya when I'm using it for projects. And project Vespa. Okay, and I'm going to put that into source images. Great. And save. And I'll make that a 32-bit. Okay, so that carries the alpha channel. Otherwise, I don't get the alpha channel. One thing I gotta do is check out the image here for the image size. And the image size 3000 by 2112. Okay. Okay, I'll remember all that. Okay, so I'm going to zip over to Maya. And I'm going to go in here to, I could go to Create. Let's do it under Create, sure, why not? So I go to Polygons, Plane, and I create a plane. And if I go in here and reduce these down to 1:1, great. Right click, I'm going to assign a new material. I'm going to use the Lambert. Okay, and on the Lambert, I'm just going to go to color, and I'm going to put a file texture on. I'll go browsing, and there I am. If I've set my project and everything like that, I'm in the Vespa project source images immediately. Okay, and something else you notice here, I'm just going to back up. I'll hit that little button there. Actually, that's strange. Usually it hooks it up. Let's see here, 6. Strange. Usually it always hooks up the alpha right away. Lies! Okay, let's do that. Let's go and do this, do that. I'm going to break that connection. When I middle click, drop it on color. That's interesting. And it is the Targa file. Okay, well, now someone has come along and screwed up something new that's going to bug me. If I take the alpha and I plug it into transparency, yeah, this doesn't work the way it used to work. Well, that's stupid. Who would do something like that? That used to work so perfectly well, and that's not going to work at all anymore. Because I can't plug this directly into this thing. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to pause and figure this out. Okay, well, I just went and I played around with this for a little bit, and no matter what I do with the materials, I can't do this trick anymore. So someone has made it so that this is fixed. There's so many other things you could change in Maya to make it better, and this is one that I liked. They got rid of it. Okay, whatever. So what I'm going to do is we'll just work without my little trick and see if I can come up with another one. I'll have to do some rethinking. Okay, so got this image here, and I'm looking, I grab my scale tool, and let's see, so if I grab this and I scale it, I should be able to see the scale on X, and as I remember that was 3000, so I'm going to type in 3. And then the scale here in the blue axis here, that should be 2.112. Okay, I'm putting it down, I'm moving a decimal point in so that I get the correct aspect ratio. Okay, and you're sitting there going, why the hell would you do this? Actually, this is also interesting. I shouldn't be able to... Oh, it's probably because I put in a V-Ray material on this thing. I was checking out, I went and I checked out Arnold and then V-Ray to see if it would give me the alpha in here automatically. It used to give me the alpha, so everything would be chopped out. But again, whatever. So now what I'm going to do is... thanks. Bless you. Great that you covered your mouth on that one. You got a towel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll make it big. I always find that when I model, I can check this out afterwards and find out the actual size of this, but I always kind of make things grid size just start off with. Okay, but we got the correct aspect ratio. I'm just going to freeze out the transformations. And then I'm going to take my, here, let's just hide the grid for a second. I'm going to grab my insert edge loop tool for a second, and let's see if I can pop a loop right there. Great. Here, that's going to be kind of weird. We'll just say, fine, we're going to do it like this, like that. That one there is a funny line, so I'm just going to get the multi-cut tool, and I'll cut from there right over to here. Come on, you bastard. I just hate this tool sometimes. There. And that should be good. Enter. So I've chopped it up. And let's see. I'm just going to take that edge and delete it. And I'll get rid of that one too. I might get rid of those extra vertices that it left over right here. And then I can take all the edges, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit Edit Mesh and detach, so they're all detached. Okay, and let's just delete the history. So I froze the transformations, delete the history, and let's put this grid back on for 1 second here as I'm looking around. I see the Z-axis over here, so just before I do anything crazy, I'm just going to go and do this because it'll probably line up better. I'm rotating it so the noise of this reference, or the nose of this reference image, is pointing down the Z-axis. Okay, great. And actually, you know what? It probably would work better the other way. I'm just looking, and I can use either side of these images. Anyway, I'm going to go to Mesh, and I'm going to hit Separate. So now they're all separate objects. Okay, each face is a separate object. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete the history again. Let's see, this one, if I just hold down J, there, okay, and then this one, actually I'll take both these at the same time, and I'll hold down J, and these ones here, if I hold down J, I can rotate them this way too, okay, just to get them kind of lined up. And let's see, this one, if I hold down J and I rotate, oh you bastard, I probably didn't need to separate those two, I wasn't thinking correctly. Hold on a second, let's take these two, and I'm going to go Mesh, Combine. I'm just going to merge their vertices together again, and I'll take that edge, and I'm just going to go in here and delete edge, gone. And there, that should be good. Let's take this, and the pivot point has been moved, so I'm just going to move it back to the center of the grid for now. And I'll hold down J, 90 degrees, great. And this is totally backwards, so J, 180. And it's hard to say if I'm going to need this other image. Actually, maybe I will for the other side of the wheel. Yeah, so I will need it. And that should be good. We'll line those up in a second. So much easier when this is... got my little trick going, but okay, whatever. So next thing I want to do, let's go and take these two, and we'll just move them this way, and I'm going to move these ones this way. I'm going to look down from above, top view, and I just want to make it so this this one here, we can see that I'm going to have to move the center of this, so I'm going to hold down D and X. I'll pretend that's the center. I'll just give that a slight rotation. If you grab the outside axis of the rotate tool and you pull and keep holding on to it, you get a finer kind of tune as you're rotating. And I'm just going to freeze that one. Got the rotations in, I'm happy. As I'm putting this in place here, I might do something like get some helper objects. So I'm just going to get a cube. Cubes are very good helpers. Okay, and I'll just make a duplicate. And I could use locators or whatever I want to. I'm going to delete these afterwards. I'm just putting them in just so I can kind of figure out what's what when I'm doing this. And here I got to hit 6 on this window. So that's my front view. And then let's see, this one we'll put this way over here for now. This one we're going to push it this way. See, what I want to do is push it into the negative X, because then when I look at it from the right view, it will be behind whatever I'm modeling. Okay, and it looks like if I took this to the top view, the front is in a funny spot. So I'm just going to move this back a little bit. There. And then this image might be slightly off. This one looks like it's a little bit big, like it's been scaled a bit. So I'm just going to scale it down till I get that so it matches up. Great. So that appears to be correct. So I'm going to go in and freeze the transformations on that. Hit that again. There we go. And I'm just going to move this down for a second while I figure out the other one. And yeah, the other one's got the same issue. I'm just going to hold down D and X, snap it here. Looks like it should be there. Maybe scale it. We'll see how that works. And something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see if I move this up a little bit and then just move it forward. I suspect that's going to be very damn close. Okay, again, I'm not gonna, this is gonna be stylized. I'm not making anything super realistic. And I'll freeze the transformations, kill the history. Okay, so I got those two set up. Great, and I'll just take this and I'm gonna zero that. So it's back in the right spot. And this one here, let's go to the front view. And in the front view, I want this to be in the center-ish. There, great, and here, I'm just going to hold down D and X and I'll pop that to the center. And same thing with this one. I'll try and get this center-ish. Can't really tell what's going on now, so I'm just going to grab this one. And that's the back. So I'm going to move this over here for a moment as I figure out the front. In the front, the pivot point's in a funny spot, so D and X. And I'm just sizing it up with this where it should be pointing. And this one should be behind. And this one should be in front. Great. And I should check out the size on that again. So let's take this cube, and if I go to the right side, and let's just make a duplicate. Boop. And I'll scale this out. I could probably tell from the grid if I really thought about it too, but whatever, I'm just doing this because sometimes it helps people visualize there. And I'll make another duplicate and I'll take it and put it on top of the mirror right up here. And let's just take these two and I'm just going to move them forward until I see what's going on with this. And so when I take this image here and I bring that down so it's sitting on top, those things are way up too high. I'm just going to move the pivot point so that the pivot point is sitting right on top there. That makes much more sense. And I'm just going to hide this for a second. I'm just going to hit H while I get this other one here and figure it out. Take this, move it up, hold down D, move my pivot point to the bottom of the tire, move this down so it's sitting on the block, and use the scale tool till we get to about there. Okay. And I'm just going to go back over here, select this object and hit H and bring it back. Okay. And what time are we at? 14 minutes. It took me 14 minutes to figure that one out, and I screwed up a couple times too. Boop. And I've got extra images in some respects, right? Like I could just do both sides kind of the same. I think there's still a bit of difference on the wheels. So, the other thing I want to do is, you see that when I split it up, and it split it up into, it went in and it took all these objects and put them into a group. I'm just going to make sure they're all sitting in a group. And I'll call this ref group. Group. I'm going to put that group onto a layer. Call this ref underscore layer. Great. And I'm going to hit save. And these objects underneath here, if I just select them all, usually what I do is, let's see, where the hell is this thing? It's kind of hidden in here, so you don't need to see that typically. The symmetry, I like that sometimes. No live surfaces. It's right up in here that you can't really see it, but when I pull this over a bit, there's an option here to rename. And so I can just come in here and call these things all ref. Whoop, and there, change all the names of them. You could call them side and all that stuff, but that just seems like a lot of work. And I'm just going to take this, oops, crap. I'll take this one, and I'm going to move it over here. Now you're kind of like, what the hell are you doing? You can't see what you're modeling. That's when I go into these. I'm going to go to Control A, each one of these objects. And if I look in the render stats, there is a option to be double-sided. And you turn that off, dook, you can only see it from one side. So this back of the vehicle, when I'm looking back here, I want to see it over here. Let's take a look at this one. I don't want to see the top of the bike when I'm looking underneath, right? I should probably move that down. If I go and put on turn off double-sided, there, you only see it from that side. This one, double-sided, that's bad. Oh, I could just take the face and hit mesh display reverse. That fixes it quickly. Okay, and this one here, turn off double-sided, wrong side. There is an option here to go opposite in the render stats, but I prefer to do this on the individual, or on the polygon face. Turn off double-sided, and there's wrong side, mesh display, reverse. And now, whenever I'm modeling here in the center, whoop, whenever I rotate around, I see it from all sides. Let's go back over here to the reference layer, and I'm just going to go in and put this on, or put it, the ref layer, I'm going to turn that to reference mode. Okay, so I can't select these things by accident. And now that I've finished this, and I'm happy and I know it, what I'll do is I'll go File, Save Scene As, and I'm going to save this as an ASCII file, and I'm just going to call this Vespa 01 underscore startup. Or I might call it setup. Okay, continue, done. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm just going to put this on pause for a second. I'm going to fix something in Photoshop. I'm going to try and pull out a black and white image. Okay, I just went in and I played around for a second, and I just went into Photoshop and I took that alpha channel and I brought it out as a separate texture that's just black and white. Okay, then I plugged that into the transparency of a Lambert, and life got good. And yeah, you can see now I've got these kind of fuzzy edges, but it's just a little bit less visual clutter when you're looking around at references, and I tend to like that. Okay, so yeah, and again, all I did was do that. I guess I could even fix this up. I can see some fuzzy edges and crap like that, but good enough for now. Okay, so I'm going to stop here.